I have no inspiring words with which to send you off, young one. We must prevent Artemis's ascension, or humanity will surely be destroyed. Do whatever you must to stop her. That is an excellent question, and I will need to think on it, but it should not delay us now. Captain Hargest will harry her forces from the ground. Traherne and I will do whatever we can to slow the ritual. Go!
You fought through fields of beasts and deadly plants. What's one more strand of wheat? Come back in one piece, and human.
You have my gratitude for all that you've done here. I can feel the Azoth flowing through the vines. Whatever power I can harness, I shall channel to support you.
Oké, lélekbe legyetek, ott van. Az jó. Vagy egy bika.
Let none ascend this tower. Protect your matron, my children, and I will give you your kingdom. Strangle from them their very breath. Use every thorn to bleed them dry.
Teljesen meghűlt. Jó, itt meg lehet állítani, és el lehet olvasni. Akit érdekel. Ennél is. Akit érdekel, itt megállítja, elolvassa. Akkor itt a második fele körülbelül, így. Itt is megállítja, elolvassa eddig, és akkor utána itt a végén elolvassátok. Akit érdekel. Ez miért jön? De gyere! Nem jössz? Megállt? Tényleg sokan védik. Húzzák neki az időt. Na, hagyd be! Ó, milyen egy. Van a HP-je, inkább elnyomok egy egyen, talán mit adjál. Ez lenne heavízni? Igen. Nem történik semmi, hogyha ezzel. A boy resistance volt. Ó, azért kell... Ó, értem. Nekem, négy fel lenni. Természetes ellentség. Jaim, hogy állnak? Még 26 perc, bőven én. Hova már a tejet? De majdnem meghaltam. Itt vagyok. Na gyere szépen! Láttam. Jó! Na? Igazából kéne csak foglalkozni, ugye? Azt mondom. Várj, a range-et be tudom, ki tudom még kapni. Jó? Vele kéne foglalkozni? Úristen, mi van?
Once again, the pride of humanity invites doom to the shores of Aeternum.
Hol van kristály? Hadd vegyem fel. Enyém. Aludom. Van még? Van még. Ezt nem tudom kinyitni. Én nem tudom kinyitni. Ezt tudom kinyitni.
You have done what even Myrddin could not. It seems every time you prove to have new strength that wells up from some unseen source. But there is the matter of the Tear of Gaia. We must act quickly. This artifact is too powerful for an ancient, and certainly beyond anything mortal minds can even grasp. Get it and bring it to me quickly. We must ensure these incompetent druids don't walk away with it.
Én nem akarom neked odaadni.
This crystal contains the essence of a powerful ancient. One with a great legacy, who sacrificed herself long ago to form the fundamental magic of Aeternum. With it, Artemis would have rewritten humanity's story. Not while this savagery has a grip on them. They simply cannot be trusted with such power. No. I will take it to a place long lost to most, where it can be safely hidden. No, it's better I don't. Even your mind could be twisted by such temptation. There are mysteries still yet to unfold, and many beings who would use this for dark purposes. Be on your guard. We will meet again.
Mondom, hogy ő lesz a következő kőbossz. Ezt most megmondom. Következő kiadba. Miért nem engedik kinyitni? De még ott kell valami Speak Artemis, én még börtönbe került.
You have no idea what you've wrought. My vessel is fit to wield such power as the tear of Gaia, not yours. In fear and pride, you humans grasp beyond your reach. You would be wise to entrust the artifact to me. Enjoy your temporary victory, but know that you've doomed us all, and humanity will face the coming darkness more alone than ever. Come, step closer, and I will give you a glimpse of your fate.
Távolabb kell lépni, nem közelebb.
Since the beginning, I have sacrificed to protect the Earth. Watching my brothers and sisters yield their very essence to stem the first tide of evil. Upon its return, I sought to restore the garden and to redeem humanity as corruption's accomplice. But you prevented that, and invited perils far greater than you can imagine. Your allies go forth, bearing a power never meant for human hands, oblivious to the horrors it summons from the shadows. The Beast Lords are but the vanguard for savage legions, and they will hunt you down to reclaim their prize. A darkness unseen for centuries awakens with an insatiable thirst. And above all, the specter of time looms, seeking to claim its toll on Aeternum. At long last, judgment comes for the Island of Immortals.
Mondta, hogy nem szabad volna odaadni neki azt a szart. Mindegy, következő kiegészítő lesz. Én nem tudom kinyitni. Jó, gondolom azt is. Jó. Igen.
Congratulations on your victory. The people of Aeternum will hear of the great deeds you've accomplished. And perhaps one day, the wider world. Please, go speak with everyone. They'll be eager.
Beszélek én mindenkivel.
Seeing Kim lightens my heart. Thank you for fulfilling my last request, and thank you for saving us all at the end. I will return to the settlement and try to begin rebuilding. I sense a darkness that we must be prepared for.
This is a fitting land for me and my people. I vow to guard Artemis's prison with my life. My rangers won't be forgetting you anytime soon. Nor will I. Though maybe visit sometime, yes?
We have you to thank for all of this. Not only have you defeated Artemis and ended the invasion, you have unwound the consequences of my mistakes. I will stay here and do what I can to aid in the restoration efforts.
Jó. Itt van Taurus.
These events have given me a great deal to consider, human. Especially my long-held distrust for your kind. You are a great and honorable warrior, and you are my friend. I owe you a great debt. Fate will bring us together again.
We've averted the ascension of an ancient, and yet there remains more to do. I fear what could befall the Beast Lords following their affliction. You should consider returning to the region. They may need further assistance.
Main Quest Complete. Kezdtünk. Nagyon szépen köszönöm, hogy megnéztétek. Remélem élveztétek, és remélem, hogy sokan kedvet kaptak a játékhoz. Ki tudja, hogy milyen lesz, kimegy lesz-e még ez a játék. Nagyon remélem, hogy lesz. Ha nem lesz, akkor a múltat tekintsétek meg, hogy milyen jó játék halt meg az emberek miatt. Mert valószínűleg meg fog halni. De ha véletlen nem, akkor én leszek a legboldogabb ember. Sziasztok! És kövessétek be a csatornát, és lájkoljátok a videót. Pá!
This island has always guarded the promise of paradise. Humanity cast out, deemed unworthy of such blessings. But I did not come here seeking paradise. I came for answers. Redemption after a life of weakness and suffering. And I found a truth that disproved everything I had been taught. I tasted the knowledge forbidden to us at creation, and I saw the vision of humanity's true potential. I knew then, I must correct this ancient injustice and restore the power which is rightfully ours. The heart of the mountain now beats strong with this purpose. After a century of preparation, our campaign has begun. The island's townships already fall before the might of our armies. The only thing I had not foreseen is you. You, who have stolen the gift meant for me. And now your soul will pay the price. For I will not stop until I have seized back the destiny stolen from us and brought true freedom to the world, both
old and new.
2,000 years ago, cataclysmic wars between Aeternum's earliest civilizations ravaged these southern plains. The sorceress Medea came to Windsward in the war's aftermath, determined to restore this land. Though the ancients were gone, Medea had learned many of their secrets. She channeled Azoth to create the verdant gemstones. These would shield and heal her new domain. The elder druids arrived centuries later to discover what had become a bountiful land. With Medea's blessing, they tended to the plants and animals, and Windsward flourished to new heights. But as centuries passed, the sorceress developed new ambitions, seeking to claim realms previously beyond her reach. The verdant gemstones were left in the druids' care. This would now be their garden, their responsibility. But the wrath of the angry earth struck soon thereafter, and the druids were hopelessly outmatched. Medea returned with a fury, purging every last baleful sprig, rescuing Windsward once more. For their failure, the druids' exclusive claim was rescinded, and settlers came to Corinth. Medea demanded a tribute for her continued protection, hiring the Iron Rose mercenaries to deliver it. Now, it seems, something has gone awry yet again. I return home to find our land suffering, and my fellow druids with it. Druidic blessings turned to curses, bounty turned to famine, and life withering away, no hope in sight.
Aeternum's ruins tell the tale of a magnificent civilization that once dominated the island. Its architects, the ancients, discovered or possibly created the energy we call Azoth. In the millennia that followed, humanity came from countless prehistoric cultures: Sumeria, China, Egypt, and more. They were called to explore the sea, summoned by the ancients to this island. These early arrivals worshipped the ancients as gods. They toiled under the ancients' guidance, building hundreds of monuments and towers. But humanity's savage nature could not be tamed. Wars broke out, and amid the chaos, corruption first appeared. To combat this new menace, the ancients imbued a chosen few with gifts. These heroes were granted monumental powers and life eternal. The wars raged on for centuries, and the ancients blessed entire armies. But most of the human vessels degraded into mindless skeletal warriors. Those wars ended millennia ago, and the ancients disappeared. But their haunted guardians still protect the ruins, oblivious to the fact their cause has long since lost its meaning.
We were not the first to stand against the corrupted. Heroes of a lost age once harnessed the magic of the ancients to defend Aeternum. Delving into a tomb of legend, we found the ancient rites those heroes employed, and the Soul Warden Order was born. Harnessing the ancients' magics, Romano blessed us with a bulwark against corruption's influence. But this gift came at great sacrifice. We would never be the same again. Our newfound powers carried us to many victories. I began to believe we could actually vanquish the corrupted. But the Crimson Sorcerer was a wily foe. He learned our secrets and exploited them. One by one, my fellow wardens became corrupted. The Tower of Arcturus is where we made our stand. In a final act of desperation, Constanza and I would leap from the heights. But in the end, I was alone. I have tried to honor the memory of my fallen friends, but the memories are too much. I am no longer a soul warden. There are no soul wardens anymore.
This town is much older than it looks. Believe it or not, it was the bleeding Roman legions that first made it into a proper village. But it soon became a trading hub for all sorts. The crossroads of Aeternum. And so it was. People coming from all over to buy and sell, and the gold in the town's coffers piled up. The trade barons ran the place for profit. No kings, no queens, and no messing. Each of the town's factions had its own enforcers, and for a while that seemed to work. But it was only a matter of time until vice and greed turned to violence. Fighting broke out in the streets, and the whole town burned down. But coin has a way of fixing things fast. Out of the ashes, the town of Oxborough came to life. The trade barons built it back, bigger, stronger, and more profitable than ever. And word is it's been smooth sailing ever since. Even when the corruption spread across the land centuries ago, Oxborough was still sitting pretty. These days, coin's flowing like never before, but the trade barons hoard their wealth from the shadows. It may be tricky, but there's a fortune to be made here, and Grace O'Malley won't be leaving until she gets her share.
I do not relish striking you down, my fellow vigilant, but it is my duty. May your soul find peace, brother. Another who's not fallen is a welcome sight in these parts. Come, warm yourself by my fire. It was the dream of Avalon that led King Artorius to these shores. And of course, the wise counsel of the enchanter, Mirrodin. But the enchanter became obsessed with the island's mysteries. An insidious evil claimed his soul. The wars of crimson madness raged for a century. So many banners, all fallen to the corruption. I know not what transpired to end the conflict. We found no answers as to Mirrodin's fate. No trace of the High King. I sought new peace and purpose here in the Brightwood, but it would not last. A plague of soulless lost emerged. Brother Umberto and I formed the Bright Vigil to fight the darkness. But he stood alone when I left in search of my Lord King. I returned empty-handed to witness the results of my failure. The Vigil fallen to despair, and the Brightwood bright no more.
Long ago, a witch crept into the eastern fens. This was the corpse crown, and she cast a wicked spell. The deadly hex spread like a sickening plague. The island's immortality was twisted and made obscene. The curse of the lost would haunt our lands. The people sought salvation from this plague. Desperate, we believed conviction our only course. We discovered the soulless could hide amongst us. Committing them to the cold earth was the only answer. Eventually, the crone's purpose became clear. Her hex would bind the restless lost to her will. To this day, her foul curse lingers. Until her evil can be forever extinguished.
Aeternum secrets call to us in dreams, promising vast, ancient knowledge. What we discovered was an entity longing for release. Mirrodin believed his spellcraft would ensure protection. But this fell power claimed him for its own. As the Crimson Sorcerer, he became the herald of madness. When all else failed, I confronted my brother. Our magics clashed, and then... silence. I was forever changed. I knew the corruption would return. But the power I needed came at a terrible cost. The secrets I sought continued to elude me. But I refused to relent. I became the corpse crone, the curse of Weaver's Fen, the target of foolish shadow hunters. I have spent the centuries since alone, preparing. When the Crimson Madness returns, I shall be ready.
Neither duty nor divine purpose called me from the old world. I sailed into oblivion as master of my own destiny, fearless in my command. And I found here that which I sought, the truth of power, to which I proudly swore my eternal allegiance. I began anew. Authority and identity stripped away, embracing inhuman toil and suffering as the path to my return. Time came when I could again prove my prowess in battle. No man nor demon could withstand my newfound might. My domination established, a new destiny earned. The voice of truth pronounced me as champion of our righteous cause. And I led our armies to victory again and again. The remnants of ragged humanity crushed along the way. To bring me here, to the precipice of my ultimate achievement. The forces of this world and those beyond, now under my command.
The glyphs tell a tale of a civil war between the ancient immortals, those who sought to harness the power of corruption, battling against those who refused. As the corrupted neared victory, there was a final, desperate act of sacrifice. These noble ancients, surrendering themselves, their Azoth to cleanse the scourge. From their discarded earthly shells, new life arose. Nature twisted in power and thirsting for vengeance. Years passed. The boon of the ancient sacrifice blessing these lands. The angry earth flourished, and Eden Grove along with it. But this surge was not to last. The age-old evil arose again, and the wars of crimson madness began. It seems the spawn of the sacrificed ancients developed new defenses, the Blight as we now know it. The angry earth again overcame, becoming a threat to not just corruption, but this time to the towns and settlements of humanity as well. Even now, when we once again share in facing a greater threat, we mustn't forget, this is their home, and they will defend it. We must trespass lightly here.
Where am I? Is this real? Morgaine, is that you?
It is me, though I am older. Yet you've grown younger instead. And free of the Crimson Sorcerer.
Enough sibling sentimentality. Damn it, Mirrodin, where is Artorius? What have you done with him?
Oh, you tin-plated fool! Can't you put aside your obsessions for even a moment?
Beg pardon, but the fate of the world takes precedent over a sibling reunion.
Cease this foolish bickering, both of you! Within this prison, time and space blur. I see glimpses of the king. At times, he seems real.
The king is within?
The king's fate is long past. What matters now is the present.
Indeed. In truth, my purpose here is to deliver a message to you, Soul Warden.
I've never seen anyone fight so bravely as Jonas did in Great Cleave. Battered and bloody, he held the line. Victorious, we returned here to heal and enjoy a moment of peace. But in the quiet of the night, that peace was shattered. The corrupted washed over the fort in a wave. Cutting and clawing, rending and tearing. Our newest recruits were butchered. I tried to help. Then that demon appeared, cutting down one after another. She would have finished me. She should have. But Jonas was there. Every ounce of his power, every swing and thrust was to save us all. But she was too strong. She broke our fearless leader and dragged him away. Our fortress in ruins. The Soul Wardens crushed. We were too weak to stop them. There is nothing left.
Your battle against the physical forces of evil has honor. But the real struggle is the battle of the mind. Consider the burdens weighing on your companions. The internal assault this island wages against them. Aeternum is not just a place you see. It is a state of being. And it will scar your soul unless you choose to change. Attachments to the past become a prison. Only balance can transform that prison into a refuge. As warden to the souls caught in your sphere, you must defend against the shadows darkening their hearts. Create the island of calm within their storm. Because on this island, where time stretches thin to no horizon, your soul too will be stretched thin, a shadow in the dark. Become the light you have inside. For you are not just in Aeternum. Aeternum is in you.
My throne stolen. I sailed from my homeland in exile, dreaming of a new home for my people and my unborn child. While so many have trouble adjusting to this island, my people took to Ebonscale Reach. It was a rebirth of a lost dream, and we flourished. And my son thrived. On the eve of his adulthood, a strange sickness overcame him, and I could only watch. Prayers, curatives, rituals, wise counsel. There is nothing I did not try. That's when the whispers began. I vowed to find a way to breach the storm wall. My intuition said that would save him. Every attempt failed, and with each failure, my people's suffering increased. Long have I known of the young upstart, but only now have I accepted her invitation to listen. My mother raised no fool, and yet, I admit to you, Isabella's bargain is not unreasonable. The fleet is now ready to set sail. Yet my balance falters upon the edge of a step I know I should not take.
Did you get the seals? Not a second too soon. They're across the water there, and I spotted the Empress giving that artifact to her captain. I can handle the captain, but I'm not so sure about the Empress. Since when can the corrupted float around like that? A solid plan, but I've got an addendum. What say we shut down the Empress's enterprise and then me and you snag that artifact? I can whip up a crew in the blink of an eye, and we can get off this damned rock for once and all. Well, she won't have any boats, so... I can already tell you're dead set in a showdown, so why waste my breath? I understand where you're coming from, of course. And you're right. We have a task at hand, so let's get to it, shall we?
I still recall the day I discovered an angel visiting my church. Isabella de Leon, a young woman of unsurpassed devotion, seeking redemption for generations of family shame. It was I who first brought her to hear the mad ravings of the heretic, and strangely found myself joining their ill-fated expedition. On Aeternum, Isabella's aspiration became obsession. And when she drank from the fountain, her thirst for divine inspiration transformed into madness. As the crimson thickened in her eyes, so did the hold of the demonic parasite within her soul. She met the crew's questions with blood, leaving them as mindless husks. My heart shattered, my faith lost. I struck down the heretic for leading us to this damnation. And I fled in shame to the old world, determined to return and make this right. In Rome, I gained access to the darkest archives of my order, and there found answers that promised salvation when I returned to these shores. I hired a captain to bring me back, but after shipwrecking on the island, I saw what happened. The blessing I intended for her was bestowed upon you instead.
Miss me? You sure as hell needed me, didn't you? Grace O'Malley is nothing if not full of surprises. There you go, my friend. A clear path to the heart of evil. Now let's finish this thing and go to the pub.
Am I not safe from you? Even in my own mind. I am trying to release you all from the lie. Don't you see? No one is watching over us. There is no God. We are alone. Each of us. In the end.
And so, it came to pass. The heart of the tempest, Captain Isabella herself, defeated. Abandoned by the power for which she traded everything. The Soul Wardens were victorious, pulling Aeternum and the world back from the precipice of doom. But at what cost? So many of their numbers corrupted or lost. Their fragile alliance crumbling as the factions fight for dominance. And what of the allies they believe they've gained in the angry Earth? It would be clear soon enough that the vengeful hand of nature would grasp far more than equilibrium. And the void exposed when the surge in corruption abates would become a threat of itself. As the soulless remnants of this conflict rise from the battlefield to find purpose and power in a source as yet unrealized. Yes, the hapless inhabitants of Aeternum will soon learn that this chapter may have come to a close, but the real horrors have just begun.
The gods summoned us from the old world, calling us to paradise, the undying land. They promised life eternal. The divine ancients shared their wisdom, directing us to build great temples to house their wonders. The works of my people shone like a jewel in this new world. But madness erupted throughout the land, igniting a terrible war. Our great works were laid to waste. When the fires cooled, the ancients had vanished, leaving behind only ruins and a doomed race of immortal soldiers guarding empty temples. But we were determined to endure. In the absence of the ancients, we became the masters of our own destiny. We battled the primordial beings birthed by the cataclysm and discovered immortality became a curse. Death had not been banished, only transformed. Even the madness returned to plague us anew. In the end, the ancients' promises had been nothing but lies. I pray they've not blinded us to the terror stirring beneath the sands.
Apophis is returned to the sands, and Sutek remains at rest. But the hunt has only just begun. This hunt will be my greatest yet. The wretched mass of humanity, my ultimate prey. When we first appeared before them, humans were eager to learn, hungry for guidance. We approached them in forms that were familiar, and showered them with blessings. But they lacked the purity shared by other creatures of these lands. I warned my brethren. These beings were not worthy of eternal life. But the gift was bestowed nonetheless. And what thanks did we receive? The fools turned against us. I knew then, annihilation of the species was our only option. But greater threats emerged, requiring our attention. Years passed. We tried to live here in peace and harmony. But the twisted ambitions of humanity have reinvited disaster time and again. Now, however, the power of the Aeneid flows through the veins of Aeternum, fuel for my grim task. I will undo the mistake my brethren made so long ago. I will revoke the gift and restore your mortal birthright to a final and inevitable death.
Time has no claim on the Eternal Isle. And yet, change will come. Eternity wasted on human ambition. Nature must rise and reign.
Mighty lords, let us cleanse these lands.
But the future is fixed for neither man nor beast.
End them.
Change is coming for us all.
It began when the Aeneid awakened. Its power moving through the earth. Its light erupting from the tower here. In terrible glory. Daring to investigate, they witnessed a hideous transformation. Artemis created an ally, one whose gaze turned flesh to stone. As the ancients' terror spread, the people of the settlement staged a final stand, but the flora of first light twisted and turned against them. The defeated were told they had a greater purpose to serve. Their fates and spirits would be bound to the birthing of a new world. It appears Artemis then called forth a beastly horde. Primal creatures summoned from some abyssal realm. What followed is madness. Obscene acts to make amalgamations of people, beasts, and plants. Our witness, in soul-struck horror, took flight in body and in mind. Her sanity is now shattered by this mad ancient's vision for the future. A savage Eden where humanity has no place.
At the dawn of time, the Beast Lords were among the Titans who roamed the earth. They existed in harmony, masters of the world in its natural state. When the ancients arrived, they sought dominion over all. But the newcomers soon discovered Earth's primal children could not be tamed. I walked among humans at that time and received the ancients' immortal gifts. I became their emissary to the primal world. During the ancient civil war, I fought alongside Artemis against the corruption. But the Beast Lords stayed out of the fray, withdrawing to their underworld realm, taking with them the Tear of Gaia, safekeeping its potential to transform the Earth. Millennia later, the Huntress called on me to fight at her side once again, promising to restore the natural order and the Beast Lords to their place. But her powers seem to have inspired a strange fury. One I fear could become a destructive rage that threatens all Aeternum.
Since the beginning, I have sacrificed to protect the Earth. Watching my brothers and sisters yield their very essence to stem the first tide of evil. Upon its return, I sought to restore the garden and to redeem humanity as corruption's accomplice. But you prevented that and invited perils far greater than you can imagine. Your allies go forth, bearing a power never meant for human hands, oblivious to the horrors it summons from the shadows. The Beast Lords are but the vanguard for savage legions, and they will hunt you down to reclaim their prize. A darkness unseen for centuries awakens with an insatiable thirst. And above all, the specter of time looms, seeking to claim its toll on Aeternum. At long last, judgment comes for the Island of Immortals.
Millennia later, the Huntress called on me to fight at her side once again, promising to restore the natural order and the Beast Lords to their place. But her powers seem to have inspired a strange fury. One I fear could become a destructive rage that threatens all Aeternum.